Alrighty. Hello everyone, and welcome to another streamio. Welcome to another stream. Might be a little low energy today, I don't know. It is an overcast day, and that usually makes me feel a little bit low energy. Let's get some background music going on, man. What am I doing? What are we doing here? Let's see. Frutiger Arrow. Frutiger Arrow is kind of a toss-up because sometimes it can be like a little bouncy off the walls, but we'll see. I need to switch accounts here. Frutiger Arrow Radio 24/7. Go for this. How's that? As long as that's not too loud, then I think it should be good. So yeah, more Donde Esta Lucy. Hopefully, or I say hopefully, but we know there will be exciting things to look at here. Let's see. There we go. New chapter, by the way. I have considered making a funny little special video about following up to who's chasing Lucy. You know, who is chasing Lucy? Who isn't chasing Lucy? I mean, damn. We'll talk about this a little bit more towards the end of stream, actually. But in that time, for the meantime, what we'll do is we'll talk about this. Hey, the latest page is showing up as being posted on December 31st, 2069. Maybe the site is a bit glitchy. I have actually seen this. I don't know if it's this specific date, but I have seen like pages of BCB be uploaded on some really, really weird date. I think I've seen like dates from like the 90s to the 80s or something, but I have seen this. I probably screenshotted it and posted it in the Fanel Discord, but I'm not... I wouldn't even know where to begin to start finding something like that. Let's see. It's Soupy's birthday. Congratulations. Do you want to play some Crash Bandicoot? Why does he say it with the ellipses? He puts so much... It's like a big reveal. Like, Crash Bandicoot, Lucille? As Ace was a realistic band and a living couple, totally perfect masterpiece. Dude, I bet Lucy would love Crash Bandicoot. And not only that, I bet Lucy would love Dark Souls. I bet Lucy would be a Dark Souls enjoyer. That would be funny to see her try to stream some Dark Souls or play Dark Souls or what have you. What's going on? Okay, someone's... I don't know what he's trying to say. Let's see. It's perfect. Happy birthday. Even all the haters and losers on this special date, my birthday. Okay. That's a lot of BCB pages. Whatever happened to McCain? Who cares? Stop caring about dumb one-note characters. Boy. I mean, really, if someone's one note, like, that's really all a matter of perspective, honestly. I think she made a... I don't know if we've gotten to the post yet, but she actually does explain what happened to McCain. She got tired of people asking about McCain, and so she made a post saying that Sue and McCain had been dating in the background, and it was going to be revealed at the prom, but people kept asking, so she just tossed them out. She was tired of people going like, "We want McCain to be there." You know, I get it. I get just like removing the thing from the situation that people keep being annoying about. But McCain, she just said McCain and Sue had an amicable breakup and called it. They're just like, yeah, it's, you know, we're good being on our own. So that's what happened, but we'll see if we get to that. Did you ever receive any real flack for including Carson way back in 06? So I'm sure you all know about Carson. Just in case you don't, let me see if I can actually... I wonder if it's still here. Carson, when Car Daughter walks in. Does she keep the page? Or is it completely just gone forever? Oh no, is this the one? No, this is not the one. This is not the one. This is... I can go get the volume 1 book and show you guys. I might have to do that. Look at this. Oh, it's the Scoobert Doo. Okay. Oh my god. Look at him. This is actually really good. I actually really like this a lot. This could work. Alright, I'm gonna go get the book. I haven't touched these books in a hot minute. Oh, the volume 1 binding is coming undone. Let's see. Actually, let me find the page first. I still need to make the video about the physical volume books. I'm Larry's Talking Cats. Is there no index? Okay, here it is. Intermission. Okay, 276. I could probably just pull it up in the PDF, but this is more fun. Okay, here it is. So for those of you who don't know or remember, just a little refresher. Wait, this is not... There we go. This is Carson. He was in... I think he started off as like a joke between Teshi and some of her friends on Skype. And he's like an overly flamboyant gay character who wore a scarf and he wanted to really have sex with Mike. And that's pretty much the character. So let's see. So we'll talk about the Carson stuff. Now, is Carson as a concept, as like the joke is that he's overly flamboyantly gay? Because this isn't something that is like kind of specific to like something Teshi has done. Like a lot of media has done that. Now, is it okay to make jokes about that? I guess you're getting into a whole conversation about, you know, what groups are okay, is it okay to make fun of, and in what way can you make fun of them? Back in 2006, I don't think there really would have been, like, Carson is such a product of its time for 2006, it would have fit right in. He would have fit right in. But like today, obviously, we have James, so we don't need Carson. James like acts almost the exact same way Carson does. It's nuts. And the only difference is that James isn't James isn't as overtly trying to like just have sex, I guess. Is the only thing preventing him from just being he's basically Carson 2.0 in my eyes. Especially with the most recent chapter. I'm editing the review for Second String, and it's actually almost done editing. But I talk about how Second String has my least favorite panel in all of BCB, even though I think the chapter on the whole is actually very interesting. But we'll read what she says here. Not at all back then, but it appeared later during the years it was rightfully so because he was a shit character made by a shit person. I made a lot of mistakes in early BCB. It is in poor taste, I guess, or to make a Carson type character. I know I'm only kind of half joking about James, but like also half of me is like it is kind of serious. Like there is some truth in comedy. Let me move this over here. There is some truth in comedy, so that is something to keep in mind. But I don't think Carson really has a place in modern BCB. He really does exist to be a punching bag. Like, even beyond that one intermission, Carson existed to be a punching bag, right? And beyond the scope of him being gay, and, like, just being, like, a really bad stereotype, I think Teshi has kind of just moved on from BCB just having punching bags for comedy, and now it's, like, more serious, even though, like, maybe, like, once or twice she's done that. The punching bag thing. Carson isn't my character, and his whole existence was created as a joke making fun of Queer Eye for the straight guy. I don't know what this is. Chad, is this real? Oh, this is Reality show? Gay men give advice on fashion, grooming, interior design, food, wine, and culture to straight men. It's kind of an interesting concept for a show. Uh, yeah, I would have never guessed that. From my understanding of it before learning this, it he is just like a product of people just made fun of people who were gay and flamboyant and fruity back in like the well, not just the late 2000s, but like before then, but like especially at that time on the internet. However, I don't want to distance myself from the character just because he isn't mine, because it totally didn't help that back around the time I was getting out of a lot of homophobic tendencies I had. Jeez. I had some truly bad opinions, slowly breaking off a lot of religious family values I was brought up with. Why do the gays need to get married? Why don't they need to get married? Like, yeah, I guess it is kind of it is not kind of a silly thing. It is a silly thing to ask. I mean, can't they accept they're not normal? I'm just saying gay people can love each other. It's none of my business as long as they know it's not natural. Man and woman is the only rightful way. Just saying. One of the first fights Soupy had with me was about that. He was horrified by me saying that, and I got really defensive. I had zero reason to hold those beliefs other than, but it's not normal. They can't accept it. Can't they accept it? And I thought having that casual opinion was synonymous to being an ally, because it's not like I'm picketing or voting against gay marriage or getting disgusted by gay people being affectionate in public. I just think they're a bit weird and abnormal. That's all. Biology. God. I'm glad Soupy was ultimately around to give me that extra push and being less of a garbage person. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Let's see that normal. Yeah. I mean, what more can you say? You can't the whole thing, it's not natural. This is like a whole conversation. I'm getting into the weeds of something I don't know too much about, so forgive me. The whole thing about it being not natural, it's not natural. It like it's not unnatural. How do I put it in the words? Obviously Teshi understands all this. I'm not trying to talk to her. I don't know who I'm even saying this to. Um, but you can't. I guess it's the idea of being like, you can do whatever you want, but I'm still looking down on you for it. Like that sucks. That's terrible. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But obviously there's literally nothing wrong with being gay or trans or lesbian or asexual or bisexual or any infinite amount of sexualities that exist out there. They come up with new ones all the time. It's very interesting, especially if like you go on a dating app. It's completely beyond the scope of the conversation. But if you go on like a dating app and you have to choose your sexuality, there's like so many. Some of them I just feel like they just made them up, and it's like a litmus test. But like the shit's real. It's like a whole science. It's an insane spectrum of how our brains operate differently. It's insane that the anyway, we're moving on, but it's interesting. BCB on, why not just make all the pages of chapters and post at once? So I assume they're saying, why not just finish a full chapter and post it all at once? I used to do that around the 2006 to 2008 era, and some chapters range from being posted every week to one every few months. I recall around the Acapulco arc, one chapter literally took 6 or 7 months to be posted. I'd rather not go back to that again. Okay, that's real. I mean, people get angry about the drip feed now. They don't even realize that it would be a lot worse if it was just like one big chapter dump all at the same time. Plus, this is a lot smarter, especially if you want this to be your job, because it keeps the engagement going. It's like, it's the reason why I won't make a ton of videos and then just release them every single day, because I'm going to be out of videos in like 2 or 3 weeks, when in reality I could stretch those videos out to a couple of months and have consistent conversation. I think it's one of the reasons why Netflix was doing so poorly for a while, because they would, whenever they would make a show, they would just release the entire show all at once instead of finishing the show and then releasing it one episode at a time over the course of a couple of weeks, because that keeps people subscribed to your streaming service. And also I think it's just more fun to take things in a little bit at a time. It's more fun to speculate endlessly about what did Teshi mean by this single facial expression on Mike's face. You know? See. Rest in peace, Mia, by the way. See, poor Daisy, but at the same time, look at all that fluff. She's so fluffy, I want to cuddle her so bad. Summer's the worst for poor Daisy. What chapter was out at this time? See, July 2016. Maybe this is Guest of... No. Is this... July... Is it this one? I think it's this one. The, July 27th. I assume you're talking about... Yeah, this whole debacle. What is... Summer's the worst. I don't know if that's why they're saying poor Daisy, dude. I think she's freaking out because Sandy, who's absolutely ginormous, is doesn't remember her. Sandy is a boofer. She's like on r/chonkers. Oh my gosh. Oh! Oh, this is the post! Oh, this is the post. Okay, chat. Oh no, McCain isn't coming back either? He was one of my favorite characters. Honestly, people clamoring for him motivates me to not include him even more. That kind of sucks. I get it. I get it being annoying. And the more people like demand that you do a thing, the less you want to do it. I get that. It sucks on both sides. It sucks to have this mindset, but also it sucks to have to deal with people that don't get it, right? And this is also the reason why all the fan characters got wiped, because people were like, oh, put my character in. How come my character's not in here? I want my character to have more screen time. And it's better to just not have to answer to anybody. Oh no, McCain isn't coming back. Let me turn up the volume on this a little bit. I used to include McCain only when I had a good idea for him. Like if I felt he would be fitting for a scene or provide entertaining insight. The other thing too is this is like one of those situations where people like just fall in love with the background character. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like it'll be like a background character on it. Like I think one of the most famous, or not one of the most famous, but like I think a good example of this, one that immediately comes to mind, is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. There are so many background characters in that show that just blew up, that people just fell in love with, even though they had like maybe one line or they showed up for a few seconds. And eventually they made an entire episode about the background characters, which Teshi also kind of did with Out of the Frame. So it is like that idea, right? But it is the idea that people just cling to these background characters because it's like a funny meme or something. I hated the idea of including him forcefully just to satisfy the fan base. I felt McCain was a cool enough character to deserve that kind of respect. Which is... It's an interesting way to view the character. This isn't necessarily like wrong or weird. This is just an interesting way to put it, I guess. Which is another reason why I don't just shove David into everything. Sometimes you do that now. I'm like, okay. I could honestly do more of that, but that would make the comic worse for me. Yeah, absolutely. It'd make the comic worse for me too, believe it or not. I want to include some aspects of humor because it's fitting, not because I know the fans will get a kick out of it. But recently, when it comes to McCain, if he even so much as shows his foot, people become ballistic and expect him and demand for him even more, and I'd just rather pull away entirely. Actually, I'll do that, and I know how to officially do that. I've been holding off on writing off McCain permanently for one specific reason alone, and I'm going to completely obliterate that reason just by spilling the beans. I'll explain what I had for McCain for the future. By the way, she never ended up, like, she wrote him off, but like she didn't make a whole chapter or say any like an in-universe explanation. Like he shows up in the in Guest of Honor. That's the last time he's shown up, and that was like way after he was written out of the comic. So I'm sure people they were like, oh my god, the return of McCain. I'm sure people lost their minds about that. Anyway, did you know McCain and Sue are meant to be canonically dating? Even without this post, I would have pretty much just guessed that. It's so obvious. Like she's always pulling him along, and they're always together. Like I Of course. Like, and especially here, we'll pull it up. Even in the original version, and it even has it here. Where is the chapter? Oh no. Where is that? Out of the frame. Look at this. Look at this. Like, look at, you can't do this and not like think that they're you know, there's something there. This is adorable, by the way. Get you a girl that looks at you like this. Get you a girl that looks at you the way that Sue looks at McCain. Damn. Oh boy, that is precious, isn't it? That's literally the only reason I haven't fully gotten rid of McCain, because Sue and McCain are meant to be dating in the background. It's just never referenced because they don't do drama, because nobody asked, because they have no desire to show off. I mean, that's how they are. It's meant to be something that was meant to be sprinkled here and there up until the junior prom, where you see Sue and McCain attending the prom. They're like, yeah, we've been dating for 2 years. Haven't you noticed? That would have been like a funny punchline, but I picked up on that. I think a lot of people would have figured it out beforehand. Look, I even had this 2007 comic as proof that I've had this planned all along. Why is it you two are dating, like never make out or anything? Well, you see, a purely physical relationship will be short-lived and ultimately unfulfilling. A relationship based on intellectual and emotional and stimulation, emotional support and stimulation proves much more. Yeah, lost interest. This is old Paul. Listen, modern Paulo, for all his faults, he would not do that. He would not say that. I think there is a let's talk about this comic. Let's talk about it. So Paulo isn't saying I understand in the mindset that in Paulo's brain, at least when this was written, Paulo would have been like, oh yeah, you gotta be all over your girl, she's gotta be all over you, and you gotta be kissing and hugging and, you know, doing all the crazy stuff. And I'm gonna turn my fan on real quick because it's getting a little hot in here. I know that the people say, well, just take your robe off. No, I refuse. But there has to, McCain's also absolutely right. He is right. A purely physical relationship is really better off just being like a casual or friends with benefits thing. And it would be short-lived. I'm not saying that you can't continue to have physical interactions, physical intimate interactions or whatever with your partner like years down the line. Like, it's not like that is like a make or break thing. But if it is literally just a physical thing, chances are it's just going to be a flash in the pan. I'm not saying you're going to get bored of the other person's body, but like, you're going to eventually want more. Your brain is going to want more stimulation than just like, you know, what feels good in the moment. Because how do I word this? Once you are finished doing the do, your brain is, when you get into a situation where things are getting hot and heavy, right? Your brain just like locks on, like there's a primal thing in your brain. I should not be having the sex talk with you guys. Please, if you have questions about this sort of thing, please talk to your parents or like a trusted health professional. Do not take, you know, don't just take my advice on it. I'm just an internet stranger. I'm just giving my personal experience. There's a primal thing in your brainstem, a primal thing that takes over and it guides you through the rest of it. But once that situation, that session is done, that goes away. It just like poof, and you're a little bit tired. But like when you recover, then what's left? And if there's nothing left, there's no real relationship. It's just like a physical primal thing. And what we would consider like in a modern relationship, or because maybe at some point in prehistory that was considered, you know, Grug and Grana, that's a relationship. But a relationship that lasts is built on intellectual and emotional support. That's absolutely true. 1,000,000%, all the way. And stimulation proves much more. And so I will say that those other things, by the way, like being on the same page, really understanding someone on a deeper level, will make the physical stuff better. It will be better. There will be more passion, there will be more feelings, there will be more satisfaction between both parties, and that is that it's like short-term games versus long-term gains, that kind of thing. So McCain is right. At the same time, that doesn't mean just because you want a relationship with intellectual and emotional support and that whole thing, that doesn't mean you can't have physical relations with that person. You can make out, you can kiss them, you can do whatever, as long as everyone's consenting. So they're both right and they're wrong. They're kids. They're figuring out. He's a little confused, but he got the spirit, basically. I think they're both a little confused, but they got the spirit. Of course, it's ironic I say this, and I think Paisley is terrible, and for some reason Paulo's like in love with her, and I genuinely don't know why. But that I've talked about that to death. The characters are meant to be teasing Sue and McCain when they show up to the prom, and they just casually admit to have been together all this time. It's meant to be a long-running punchline, something that is just vaguely teased and just turns out to be true. And by clues sprinkled in the background, I mean Sue and McCain literally just being themselves and going about their day together. It's meant to take everyone by surprise. It was meant to be an elaborate ruse. I think too, this joke would have been a lot, would have been really good more than just like the punchline of, oh, they're together this whole time. But to have two characters in a comic that is full of like these terrible flash in the pan relationships and people not being able to figure themselves out, to show two characters like actually having a genuine connection in a relationship fly completely under the radar says more about the other characters that are having relationship issues than them, right? It's showing like the other characters are like so completely clueless about what a positive, healthy relationship is that they literally could not see one right under their nose. It's like that thing, like you wouldn't recognize this thing if it walked up and slapped you in the face. It's like that, except they're not obviously flaunting it. So I think it would have worked on that level as well. And now it's no longer canon because I've told it to all of you, and now Sue is officially single in the series. They broke up, but it was such an amicable breakup that Sue didn't even bother to tell anyone about it and is totally cool with it. McCain is now happily studying in the background and is too cool for all the drama, and will eventually get into an amazing school in another state. Word of God over here, guys. So this is canon. But it's not... Is it canon or is it not canon? Is was the really... Is it word of God because it was going to be canon? I wonder if, I wonder when she says amazing school in another state, I wonder if she means like a college or a university, or if he just will like transfer out. I wonder why, I wonder if that's the reason why Sue and McCain would have broken up. Like, they would have broken up because, wait, what? Oh no, them breaking up is canon. I'm getting confused as fuck. I'm sorry, guys. It's an overcast day. It's rainy, so my brain's a little bit slow. They broke up. Okay, so the breakup is canon, and McCain does move out. So I assume they broke up because McCain was moving away, which is funny because even though I knew that they were gonna like break up, I didn't really like think about the nitty-gritty details. But whenever I get around to writing Not So Different Part 2, the reason that Sue and McCain break up are because he is moving away to another school. And it really sucks because that's like the only feasible way that they would break up. Like, if everything was so positive and healthy between them, why would they break up? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Unless they were just both like, you know, I think maybe I enjoy the relationship, but maybe I need a little bit more time, or I'm not ready to like fully do that. I don't know. But it would make most sense if McCain had to move away. And better McCain than Sue, as I always say. And now you know. Also, don't think you were the straw that broke the camel's back. Extremer Sadiq. Extremer Sad IQ. I've literally deleted 5 questions being, oh, where's McCain? And I thought, you know, whatever, I'll do this. I'll rip off this rotting band-aid. Well, there you go, chat. That's the McCain conversation. Hey, so what's with Teshi Diary? This would also... We're going back just one more time. Him moving away, but he moved to another state. But it's possible he came back for the convention. That would explain why he shows up at the convention, though, and like why he's never seen outside of school, because he drove from out of state to go to the convention. I wonder what state he moved to. I wonder if he just moved to New York. I wonder if he's in Queens. Hey, so what's with the Teshi Diary? I hope you've been posting. The Teshi Diary was an updating, but I wasn't updating its hiatus because I generally had no idea what to draw. This really isn't much to CBT. Oh, right. Cognitive behavioral therapy. That's what yeah. I'm not gonna really go over this one. There's really not much to say. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, we'll talk about this one actually. It's like kind of a creator thing. I know this was sent during the Tashi update was dated, but I wasn't updating its hiatus because I genuinely had no idea what to draw. I was jotting down ideas in my notes that eventually became the comics I'm now uploading. But at the time, I just didn't feel motivated to make any comics. I just wasn't feeling things strongly enough, or if I was feeling strong feelings, I didn't know how to translate it to a comic. And I felt too busy with BCB to stop and draw a Venti Diary comic. I don't think I'm better, but I can deal with certain feelings better than before. CBT and mindfulness has definitely helped. Basically, there's other stuff I get upset about. Yeah, so even though it's not one-to-one, I get the idea. Like, if you're a creative, you absolutely understand this feeling where, like, you go through periods of time where you're just like, you have no motivation. And I'm kind of going through that period. And it's like, the less you create, the less motivation you have. It's like a weird cycle that you have to climb out on both, like, with both things. You have to climb up and get your motivation back while also slowly climbing up by making content so you don't completely lose your motivation. And outside world factors can absolutely weigh on your mind and prevent you. Like, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff personally that is a little bit freaky. I mean, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'll be okay. But it does prevent you from feeling comfortable enough to be like, okay, I can lose myself in this... I can lose myself in this fantasy land and not have to, like, worry that when I come back out the other side, it's just gonna suck. Or, like, there's, like, real world things pressing down on me that I have to take care of right now because I'm gonna be in a really bad situation if I don't. I have ideas. I have plenty of ideas. I have all the ideas in the world. It's just the motivation. It's just the lack of motivation. And it's not me saying that I'm getting bored with BCB or I don't want to do the panel anymore. It's just creativity comes and goes. Low points are part of the process. There is a wonderful game. It is called The Beginner's Guide. I believe it's like $10 on Steam. One of the best games I have ever played. It definitely hit me emotionally. And if you haven't looked into it, if you don't know what the Beginner's Guide is, go into it blind. Don't look up any playthroughs. Just play it without any sort of looking into it. Because it'll be a lot better if you just try to interpret it on your own and then you listen to what other people think. But there is a quote from the game where a character who is a game developer explains that I can't remember the exact quote. It's like, not making games isn't making me depressed. Low points are part of the process. And that's very true. I guess if you're not a creative type, maybe on the outside, if someone's not making stuff, it's because they're depressed or something. And that could be part of it. That could be a factor into not having motivation. But having low points in motivation or, like, ideas... or, like, you don't feel strongly about an idea, or maybe you had an idea that you felt strongly about and it slowly lost traction over time. That's a very real thing. And it happens to everybody. All creatives will go through this. I always say whenever you start a project, there are three parts to it. Three parts of the creating process. At the beginning, you're really excited because you have this new idea, you have this new project, you're going to get right into it, it's going to be great. And then when you start getting into the project and actually working on it, you get to something that I call the goop. There's this quagmire, there's this swamp that you have to trudge through to get to the end. And it can feel daunting and it can feel slow, but the closer you get to the end, the more exciting it gets. So it's really exciting, and then it's a little bit boring and slow and trudgy and tedious, and you might want to give up. But then you get to the end, and it's exciting because now you've pretty much finished it, and you can put it out into the world, and that's the exciting part. So that's my creator mental health talk for this. Hi Vero, I've been reading Bittersweet Candy Bowl since I was in 6th grade. I got hooked on the tsundere shenanigans and gags. Unfortunately, the comic is not that anymore. This is the reason why people get into BCB. And then by the time it stops being this, you're so invested in the comic that you can't look away. It's a very interesting phenomenon. I call it the bittersweet phenomenon. I just made that up. And now I'm in my senior year of high school, and it's so amazing that I've grown up along with this comic. I love it so much. It was the comic equivalent of comfort food when I was in a really, really bad place mentally too. Thank you so much for making this beautiful comic. I'm so excited to see more of it, Heart. I have good news. It's going to go on for another at least 15 more years. It is very interesting. This specifically right here. So many people find BCB when they're in and I'm not saying it's everyone, but it feels like every time like Teshi answers one of these questions, the running theme is, well, it's not really a question, it's just like a comment, but the running theme is, I was in a really bad place mentally and your comic helped me. And that's the same thing for me too. I was going through a really, really terrible breakup at the time, right around the time I found BCB. And is it like a stretch to say that it saved me? I genuinely don't know what else I would have done if it had not been for BCB or making the fanel or writing all those fan fictions. It was like a place creatively that I could go to where I could pretend that things were going to be okay, that I could write these fan fictions. I'm being really open. I don't know if I should be this open with you guys, but like in my brain, you shouldn't put so much of like yourself or like your happiness on a fictional thing like this. But like in my brain, it's like if the characters can be together and be happy, if they can finally get together with the people that they love and be happy, then that will make me happy. It's almost like I am falling in love with them, like alongside with them. And if they're together and happy, then I will be. That's kind of like the mentality behind Cream Color Joy and Scarf and Bow and all of that. It's like if they can make it, then I can make it, I guess. Maybe that's like the idea. Oh wow, I hope this comfort food didn't make you feel too sick. That's so cool. Best of luck in your senior year. Though I figure you have graduated by now, I'm sorry about the late response. Good luck in your future endeavors. I'm so happy the comic has been around as a way to help along the way. Even if it's just to read and be amused. That's really awesome. I got my first ever job, so I'm going to save up and buy all of the BCB books and maybe a membership. OMG, at the moment I have $24. Good job. Oh wow, congratulations on your first job. I have all the BCB books, but you guys already knew that, and I need to finish reading the physical ones and like make a video about it. You are a majestic beast, XD. I haven't slept in 2 days because of the comic. I've been sick, so it's not 100% your fault. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see the rest of it. Hope you feel better now. BCB is a very easy comic to binge. Because while you're reading it in real time, like you're waiting for pages, it feels very slow. Because the comic takes place over such a short period of time. But when you're reading it from the start and you've never read it, it's so fast. It zooms by because it takes place in a short period of time. It's a weird time warping effect. And once you get to the end and you gotta wait page by page, it feels like it's dragging on forever. It's the most ironic thing ever. But this comic is very easy to binge. It is a very bingeable comic. I really appreciate your diary blog, Teshi. I have BPD and it's hard to explain to people, so I end up just sending them some of your comics so they can understand easier. I made some of my own and that helps too. When I was younger, I used to read them and be like, ha ha ha, same. Silly brain. Then a few years later, I found out. Then a few years later, I found I had BPD. It's been worse lately, but at least I can look at your archive and have someone with common ground. I don't fully understand BPD, actually. So glad to come tell us. Really amazing here. It's good to find some. It is good to feel that you're not alone when you're going through some shit, right? Because it almost feels like you have answers if you're not alone, or like you have someone to lean on a little bit. I don't really know too much about BPD, so I can't really comment on that. But I guess in the wider scope of mental health, it is good to have something to identify with, and not feeling alone helps out a lot, no matter what you're going through. Why doesn't anyone care about me? I care about you. Oh no, who put this here? Was this Daisy? Did Daisy do this? Do the two of you ever watch a tremendous amount of YouTube ever? If so, what kind of YouTube content? I like to put on Pimp Night when I'm not listening to music. Hearing him go on about his weird gimmick battles is soothing, okay? Also like this British guy who goes on about video games. He goes on about this one video game with a little kiwi bird as a lot. Larry, good buddy Larry, happy. Oh, I know who she's talking about. He does the thing about Yanks not being able to wank. Worcester upset. I don't know any of these. I've heard. I know who she's talking about here. Okay, this is a Pokemon YouTuber. Oh, he's a speedrunner. Okay. I don't know who Pimp Knight is. Oh, Pokemon. Yeah, she's watching Pokemon content. Oh wow, he still uploads. 890 subscribers? Okay. Bittersweet Candy Bowels is my favorite webcomic. It's pretty good. We need to stop. We've gone a little bit too far in a few places. I want to Google this and see what happens, but I shouldn't do that on stream. Is Rachel secretly Deadpool? Is that the one that looks like Spider-Man? Why would you think this? What? This is such a random question. What would lead you to believe that she's Deadpool? She's not not an assassin, a mercenary. She isn't like super mouthy. I don't get this one. This one eludes me. Francine X Cutter is the comic's main OTP, right? What? I don't know what this is. Is this a Mega Man thing? Oh, this is an American Dad thing. Okay, yeah. What was it like dipping back into your old style for the dream sequence? Weird. There were times where I was like, no, draw shittier, and other times I was like, this style was appealing. The latter always makes me depressed, Lamau. It's still working to that perfect, comfortable style in my eyes. Wait, no, she was like full into the modern style at that point. Because this is still... What is this? Where are we at? No, it was Model Girlfriend. Oh, no, it was August. So, you know, it still would have been Model Girlfriend, right? Yeah. I know, so they're talking about the dream sequence in Dial Tone, actually. Let me pull it up. The Dial Tone. There we go. This is a good style. Oh, look how good it looks. And the thing is too is that she's doing the pencil roughs, but like with like her new drawing ability, so it's like really clean, and it's interesting to see these old character designs in this really clean style. It's like taking an N64 game and playing it in 1080p 60 FPS, if that makes any sense. This style was appealing. It is appealing. This looks really good. Is it a controversial opinion? I don't know. I don't think so. I think all the styles are fine. I've talked about how the modern style, this style is my least favorite, the clean digital one. I think the old style with like the pencil drawing, like there's something very human about it. There's something raw about it that it just looks better. It feels like Teshi could go a little bit weirder with expressions, or like, I don't know, get away with certain things with the art that she can't really do now, or like the digital style sort of it kind of makes it more difficult to do the weird things that she used to do with the art. I don't know. I just think the old style like this, like the hand-drawn stuff looks really good. It still looks really good. Even if you get like the volume 1 book and like the original like this stuff. I don't know. It's just my weird opinion. Let's see. My burning hatred for Sandy will never stop burning until the day she is no longer in Michael's life. I want to watch her fall off her model runway and break her neck for what she did to Lucy. Fuck you, Sandy. Fuck you. Go model a corpse, you bitch. Oh my god. Okay, let's break this down. Yeah, Sandy sucks. In a meta sense, also in an in-universe sense, she is not a great plot device. It is like the worst plot device ever. It could work for a time, like for a period of time, not like a specific period of time, like in real life, like, oh, this style would only work in the early 2010s. I mean, like, for a section of the comic, it can work. But to continuously dip back into the Sandy well, I feel like the Sandy stuff could have been condensed, and Teshi could have moved on to like new things getting in the way of Mike and Lucy's happiness with each other. Or maybe that's like kind of egotistical, presumptuous to say. Let's see. I wanted to watch her fall for one way and break her neck. For what she did to Lucy. What did Sandy do to Lucy? Sandy has never directly negatively impacted Lucy. She has never insulted Lucy. She's never hit Lucy. She has never tried to inconvenience Lucy in any sort of way. She probably... I don't know what they're referring to. Because Mike did all the things. Now, I have talked about before, Mike is in full control of his actions. He is in full control of how he chooses to handle Lucy's abuse. He was in full control of his actions in December when he chose to scream at the top of his lungs at Lucy instead of not doing that and just being cool about it, because Sandy doesn't like Lucy. And so because Sandy doesn't like Lucy, Mike doesn't like her. Or maybe Sandy had Mike focus on all the negative aspects of their friendship, because that's really all that she would hear. That'd be like the major things that she would hear, is that, oh, I got hit by my friend Lucy, or I'm being injured by my friend Lucy. It is important to understand that while people have full agency over their actions, or maybe I should do this in reverse, Mike is very clearly being manipulated by Sandy to an extent, whether Sandy was cognizant of that manipulation or not. He was being manipulated in a certain manner. I think that Sandy completely gaslit the fuck out of Mike. I think that Sandy got jealous and she got jealous that Mike was defending this girl That's why she says, "Are you in love with her?" And Mike's immediately like, "No, no, 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 it's nothing like that." Even though, yeah, he was in love with her. Maybe not at that point, I don't know. Or maybe even at that point. So Sandy saying she doesn't like Lucy, that Lucy is a terrible friend, that a real friend would never do all these mean things to Mike. And to be fair, Sandy has somewhat of a point. That your friend should not be hitting you and insulting you all the time, even if there are nice moments between you two. Lucy does have mental health issues. That's fair. She needs to actually get help for that. She cannot just work through that on her own, by the way. Uh, I get Teshi doesn't want to just take the therapy route, but at the same time, Lucy genuinely has a mental health issue, and Teshi needs to write her actually getting help for that in some degree. You can't just take someone that has a mental health disorder and just be like, yeah, they just like got over it, which is what it kind of feels like. I get Teshi is trying to move Lucy to being more independent, and maybe she hasn't completely dropped Lucy's mental health stuff, which obviously she hasn't. She's doing the PTSD thing, but Lucy's mental health disorders go beyond PTSD. People say BPD. That's never been officially confirmed, I think. So I'm getting completely off topic from this thing, but I'm just getting this out there. Uh, Lucy genuinely needs professional help, but she's doing good on her own. She's working through things, but she is dealing with PTSD, and she's going to need professional help. You cannot just get over PTSD on your own. You can't just get over these things. She needs help, and maybe she will get that help. And it would be very interesting to see Teshi writing Lucy getting this help. But if not, not only a missed opportunity, but I think just like not a great way to write the character, and not really a great message to send to people that are dealing with these problems. People that really, really identify with your characters and see themselves in them to the point that they feel personally insulted if people don't like the character. You gotta let people know that if they need that they need professional help if they're having problems that need a professional to deal with. Completely got off track topic, but I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say with that. Oh, look at the cat in the bag. That's a nice bag. Oh, I should get a bag like this. I don't think they sell those bags anymore, though. See, hey, Tay, you probably don't remember me, but I'm one of your quick, I'm scared of this person who is better than drawing at me type followers who said hi at every AWA for the last 5 years. For the past 5 years. Just wanted to stop by and say that your dream sequence you've been doing / did in Dial Tone is honestly one of my favorite moments in all BCB, and I relate to it so much, it's incredible. Anyway, just wanted to stop by and say thank you for an amazing webcomic, and I hope you have a great day. I'm sorry that I didn't attend AWA this year. I don't know if I saw you at MomoCon or not, but yeah, I thank you so much for the kind words. This sequence is great in 2 parts. I agree this is like one of the cooler sequences in Bukaba. Because one, you have the art style change, like it's jumping all around the place, which is really cool. It does feel like a dream. Like to do like the meta thing and have the art style change is like really, really good. She even goes back to like the older digital style where the lines were actually, I think this is actually part of the older digital style where the lines were really thick. But like this stuff is really awesome. I like how you can see Sandy's her claws here. It's really cool. It's a nice touch. But I also think this dream sequence is a lot of fun. It really does feel like a dream. Like your dreams are just wild and all over the place and they morph. That's the thing. In your dream, things don't just like go from like one thing to the next. They morph all around. And we see that here. We see that with not just the art style, but like with the way the characters are dressed. Like he doesn't have a scarf and he's like injured here. And all these different things. So yeah, I think on that level this works very well. But also it's just cool to see Teshi like do something weird and wacky, even if it is like not meant to be funny. It's supposed to be like really sad. And I've waited. I love you. Don't leave me. This. I'm gonna talk about Mike and his desire to be in a relationship more in the second string review, but that it is interesting. This is also a nice full body of Sandy. Look at her go. Look how big her fucking head is. But I like this. The lockers go into the forest. Like I could see this in my head, cinematically. I can in my brainstem. I can see how this. I know what music. I can see how it will play out. It's so good. This is so good. Look at that. This dream sequence is great. I wish Teshi would do more weird things. I want the comic to be weird. When BCB is weird, that is when it is the best. Teshi is really good at writing weird things. I think that's why the BCIs are so good. And so when and I'll say this too, I think that's the reason why method acting is really good, because it is so weird. Weird for modern BCB standards, I should say. It's not like weird to have a play, but it is weird for it's completely out of like the zone of modern BCB, at least tonally, which is why I like it so much. But yeah, this stuff was good. I mean, it's really on the nose. It's really on the nose. And this also comes after like no, right before Lucy comes back. This was also a good chapter to show that Mike really does regret. Like you can have Mike saying that he regrets what he did to Lucy or feeling bad about it, but when you have Mike, like it's such a stressor on Mike. It's weighing on him so much that he's dreaming about it, and he's dreaming about how much he regrets and how he would protect Lucy if she were in trouble and she needed him. That really shows that he genuinely does feel remorse for what he did. It's not just like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Like it's a deeper feeling of remorse. It's really good. Also, he looks extremely naked. Actually, they're both. No, she's wearing her bow. He looks so naked right now without a scarf. Then Sandy, the literal Jesus. He sees Sandy as like some. This is. I'm completely not talking about Donde Esta Lucy. This sequence is so good. This dress looks really nice. The art's really good. But at the same time, like Mike puts Sandy on this pedestal as like she's some deity, and Teshi draws her walking on water, literally walking on water. That's like not a mistake at all. I mean, not that it's a mistake, but like it's very intentional that Mike sees her on this pedestal and she doesn't care, and then Mike is like running back and forth between the two. Also, keep in mind, Lucy is on dry land. Lucy's on dry land. Sandy's over the water where we just saw Mike drowning. So whenever Mike tries to be with Sandy, he's drowning, but she's still like high above him, while Lucy is literally dying for Mike in like some the land where it's safety, or where it's safety, where it's safe. Sorry, I'm coming at the end of this stream. My brain is totally fried. Also, this shot is really fucking good. I wish that I could get like this is a background. This chapter was great. It's a very good chapter. This was late, but Oremo wasn't that bad. Okay, I have no idea about anime. I know the only thing I know about anime is that I don't like it. Oh, look at this Rachel and Paulo image. Oh my god, it's so good. Literally the greatest image possibly ever. My favorite ship from BCB, Protect Them. I have bad news for you, Nutverse. I don't even know if I should tell him. If I don't post anything on the Boru within the next fortnight, it's because either this chapter or the ask has led me to commit Seifuku in the way of the modern Chinese ninja. This comment was in regards to the dial tone, but I figure it applies to this current chapter as well. What? Boru's led me to commit... I get, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't kill myself because the chapter is so good, but it was really good. Mike's hand, Evangelion reference. Whenever you're looking at your hand, you are channeling Shinji every time. Evangelion, that's how you pronounce it. I always mispronounce the name of that thing. Evangelion. See, so today, June 1st, is my birthday, and so I figured that as a little birthday present to myself, I would try to get over my shyness and try to message someone I deeply admire. I admire deeply. That person is you, Teshi. So I wanted to thank you for BCB. It's gotten me through bad times. There it is again. It's like I said. And I always like to go through life with your characters, and you're a great person and so nice. The best present I could have gotten was a page on my birthday. Thank you. Oh, fun fact, I actually named my Vero after you. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is that like a cat? What is that? Sorry about the latest how birthday wishes. I'm sorry the queue is murder. I'm so sorry that it took so long for you to get a reply. I'm so honored that I was chosen for this. So, you're so very kind. Yada, yada, yada. Just want you to know that I am preemptively getting large amounts of negative emotions due to the bad ending that I am 84% certain this chapter is going to have so... Oh, I'm getting due to the bad ending that I am 84% sure this chapter is going to have. So if the intention of this chapter is to inspire such emotions, then congratulations, you're achieving this well in advance with flying colors. Well, who do you think the bad ending is going to affect? It might not be a bad ending for some people. You're a good egg, J Gamer. It's J Gamer? Sorry that I torch you with so much with the unknown. Are they talking about dial tone? Friday, August 5th. Wait, what? Oh, this is like... The fuck? Oh, they're talking about model girlfriend. Is it gonna have a bad ending? Let's look at the end. See, they're in August, which means that's 8 5. Oh, they didn't even know. The 8 5. Yeah. He didn't even know what. Does this have a bad ending? Is it bad for Mike? Is it bad for him in the moment? No. It is bad that he's completely not seen the red flags. Just going crazy over I love you. I've probably said it before on stream. I say this a lot. I know this is like some BoJack Horseman quote, but like I never watched BoJack Horseman, but it is hard. You can't see the red flags when you look through rose-tinted glasses, and that's what Mike has been doing with Sandy this whole comic. It is hard to see especially with this chapter. There are moments that are subtle about why things aren't working between them, and then there are moments that are overt. And that is why this chapter, it works so well. You have the subtle moments, right? But like there are enough. The other great thing about this chapter is that, oh my god, this outfit. Flak Ops drew Sandy in this outfit. I didn't even know it was a reference to this page, by the way, until I looked back a couple of months ago. Anyway, the thing about Mike and Sandy's relationship is that it is kind of a gray area in the fact that it's not all bad or all good. It is not, they should not be together, but there are, even in bad relationships, and I can't say for every single one, but even in relationships where it's clear the two people should not be together, that they are not compatible, there are still good moments, right? So you have Sandy just talking and talking and talking to Mike, and Mike just kind of eats it, right? Because he doesn't have a backbone. He's too nice. It is the character arc he's going through right now. And oh my god, look how he looks like a child. Well, he's a teenager. He looks like a baby compared. She looks like a fully grown woman. He looks like a baby. Maybe that was intentional. And he wants to go to the arcade. He's got the Animal Crossing hands. And Sandy is trying to engage with with Mike here, but it's not, she isn't giving the engagement to Mike that Mike was giving to her when she was talking about all of her stuff, right? And she gets angry, and she's excited, but it I don't know. It's not enjoying it on the same level. They're not enjoying it on the same page, I guess. It is possible to enjoy the same thing with somebody, but enjoying it for very different reasons, right? I've been through this somewhat recently, so I know what I'm talking about. I know I'm silent because I'm trying to get my thoughts together about what I'm trying to say here. But this is like more, it's not like subtle, but it's more subtle than this right here. It's more subtle than this. Why don't you just grow up? She has her feet turned inwards too. She had the battle. This is the war cry. She's the Dragonborn right now. She's using her Thum. She's using her Thum to debuff Mike. I also like the oh man. Oh man. I just realized something. I thought these were supposed to be like petals or like leaves or something. These are not leaves. Well, they might be. These are hearts. Like, okay. I think they are supposed to be leaves, right? Because you see in the previous page their leaves are falling off the tree. But she's like far enough away from the tree, so I don't know if that'd really be like a factor. But the leaves are drawn as hearts here. They look like malformed hearts as they're falling, and they're red. So Teshi could have just made them green if they were like, you know, supposed to be leaves. But they're red. These are like Mike's heart breaking. That's a really, I like that. I just picked up, maybe I'm an idiot for only picking up on that now. But yeah, there's subtle things, but there's also good moments. Like, look at them together. They're walking together. They're hand in hand. And, like, she's hugging him and still talking about herself. Like, look like this. Like, there's moments of, like, you know, like, intense passion. And then it dies away. Right? And then you have things like this. Like, she wants to watch him play, but then it turns into a moment of intense passion. She's not really invested in what he's doing. She's more invested in him, but because she can't get invested into what Mike is doing, she's never really going to fully be invested in Mike as a person. It's a lot of like teenage hormonal. And also, this goes back to what I talked about in the Sandy PMV discussion video, where I've completely gotten off topic. Why am I talking about this chapter? This would be a good thing to discuss as its own video. I'm going to get back because we're running over. But yeah, no, does it end negatively? Yes. In a meta sense, in an overall comic sense, wow, this is a really good Sandy. You know, I've never been able to blow bubbles with bubblegum. So Sandy's doing a good job, I think. Though I can imagine getting like sticky bubblegum in your fur sucks. Because you can get like peanut butter on it, but still. Let's see. Okay, buy stuff from the store. Got any advice for a student panicking about his exams? Don't procrastinate. Very true. You're panicking. Part of your panicking could be due to the procrastination. And plus, if you're procrastinating and you're not doing it, it's going to weigh on you more. And you won't have a distraction. Did you guys ever figure out what happened to Goldie? Nope, I sure wish I knew for closure's sake. I hope she's happy. I don't really think I want to touch that one. I don't think I want to touch that one. I know I said we were going to talk about this chapter. You guys might just have to wait for my review. I will point out that it is interesting that one of these shadows is longer than the rest of them. I thought that this was something like in I'll just go over very briefly. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. I know I'm yapping way too much. It's like I have the inertia now. I thought this was just like an artistic choice to show like the shadows looming over Lucy. But now that like we see that this shadow is intentionally supposed to be larger than the others, what does that mean? Are we actually going to see who's chasing her? It looks like she's about to turn around and fight back, which is... that's good. It's her dream. And Teshi has already touched on lucid dreaming, or lucid dreaming, if you will, in this case. She's talked about lucid dreaming before, with Daisy saying, like, whenever she has a bad dream, she just imagines that somebody saves her from whatever monster. And Lucy could do that here. She could be like, this is my dream, this is my Windows screensaver background dream, and I'm mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore. I'm gonna get you, and she's gonna get them. She's gonna get them. I don't know how she's gonna do it, but she's gonna do it. She seems pretty lucid in these dreams, by the way. It seems like she does have like a lot of control to a certain extent. But if she ever figures out that she can just control the dream world, it'll be like Nightmare on Elm Street, like at the end when the girl was like, you're a weak ass bitch and you can't actually do anything to me. The cavalry is here. Okay, that's all for real. Thank you guys for showing up to this very wordy, a much wordier than I was expecting edition of Donde Esta Lucy. This was fun, and I will see you guys next week when we will be talking about second string. So cool. See you guys later.